everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Sophie and in today's video I'm going to be reorganising my bookcases. As you can probably tell if you've watched my videos before, this background has changed slightly, so I have actually already rearranged them, but I'm going to show you how I did it and then do a very brief overview of my shelves at the end. If you want to see a before video, I will leave my bookshelf tour that I filmed maybe back in November. If you enjoy this video, please remember to like if you enjoy it and subscribe to my channel for more bookish content. So let's get rearranging. all the rearranging is now done. I have to say I am pretty pleased with what I've managed to achieve. As you can see, there is an empty shelf in the top right corner, but we'll get to that in a minute. So on this first bookcase, the first 3 shelves are kind of like YA fantasy, or just sort of like older series that I've read and enjoyed, sort of like sentimental ones really, as you can see. And then as we come down, we've got some more adult, it's Percy Pig, we've got some more adult series, ones that I've read recently and really enjoyed. This is primarily a fantasy bookcase. That bottom shelf has got like my Game of Thrones series, it's got my Witcher series, and then it has Sarah J Maas, who is, that series is on the chopping block. I just can't bring myself to get rid of it yet. Yeah, didn't really like that one. But yeah, so that is that first bookcase. Needs a bit of a tidy the rest of the room, but you'll just have to ignore that. And then sort of this bookcase is kind of the same. So we've got my Cassandra Clare shelf here. This second shelf I'm not really too happy with. It's just kind of full of hardback series or standalones that kind of don't really fit anywhere else. As you can see, I do like to like stack my paperbacks just to save space, and then sort of the gaps in between, they're big enough for like 1 or 2 hardbacks, but not like a trilogy or sort of things like that. So these just kind of like have nowhere else to go. So maybe I can sort of move them up there. I don't know. That shelf I'm not 100% happy with, but it's just going to have to do for now. Obviously my Brandon Sanderson shelf, he's been moved down. He was up here, but I needed more space for that shelf. These shelves are what you kind of see when I'm filming. So I've got some of my favourite series. There is a YA series on there, a couple of YA series on there, but mostly adult fantasy. Got my R.F. Kuang, Hunger Games, all that kind of stuff. Robin Hobb down at the bottom. Yeah, I'm really pleased with like these 3 shelves as my background. And so there's a bit of room for sequels and things like that. And then what I wanted here really was more room for my romance books. This is really hard to get an angle. It's a bit of an odd shaped room. So yeah, that top shelf, there's 3 books on it that you can't actually see and they're hidden. That's kind of like fantasy overspill. And then these sort of 4 shelves here, sort of like romance and like other, but then again I've got a bit of fantasy here. Again, this kind of like has nowhere else to really sit. Like they were just sort of books left at the bottom of the pile kind of thing. I've got my L. Kenny, that's going to be a whole stack when I eventually read the rest. Got my Good Girls Guide to Murder, Pumpkin Spice Cafe. It's kind of like an odd, like, I guess this shelf is going to be fantasy, and then this is going to be like fantasy / romance, and then into romance I've got like my Tessa Bailey stack. I've got room for more, and then just some more like my Beth O'Leary books there, Bromance Book Club, and then it's where it's really hard to get angles. So I've got my Emily Henry, my Abby Jimenez, Ali Hazelwood, just sort of like random stacks. And then down here I've got my Elsie Silver, I've got some YA books sort of tucked away there. Just some sort of random other books, not really sure what to do with. And then down at the bottom, you really can't see, down at the bottom as always is my Rick Riordan, because I'm not going to get rid of them, but I don't really feel the need to like have them on display. So yeah, that is my, please excuse the rest of the room, it's an absolute state. Yeah, so please ignore the state of the rest of the room. It is a bit of a work in progress. It's kind of hard to like figure out the space, but yeah, that is my bookcases. So guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you like how I've rearranged my bookcases. Comment down below, how often do you guys rearrange and clean your bookcases? I feel like I should probably clean mine a bit more often than I actually do. Please remember to like this video if you've enjoyed it, and please subscribe to my channel for more bookish content. I really do appreciate every single one of you that watches my videos, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.